I think one of the most iconic
Love it.
pictures of all time is from one of those probes that I was talking about, and it's looking back at Earth. And you don't know what you're looking at until someone points it out. There's this little tiny speck, just this tiny, tiny speck that's blue. And I think the picture, we'll have to look it up, but the picture's called like the blue speck.
Wow.
And it's this probe looking back on where it was created and where it was sent from, and it's Earth, but it's just so tiny. It's so crazy. Sometimes it's a good reminder for myself, because it's like the world that I'm living in and the world that we're living in feels so big, and everything feels so important, and it is, but it's, when you think about, we're just on a speck, sometimes it just puts you in a different perspective of, you know what, no, it's okay. You know what, like, it's like a roommate jumping out of a plane and seeing Earth from a different lens.
I was just thinking about that.
It's the big and scary things don't feel that big and scary anymore, because you just know you're just on a little tiny piece of human history, and then you're probably even on a smaller piece of the universe's history too.
Right.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, it really is.
The little blue speck.
Little blue speck reminds me of the Horton Hears a Who from Dr. Seuss, and
that's their world.
I wonder if that's how he got it. You know, just it's like, yeah, there's so much stuff going on in this little speck, but then there's also the outside surrounding world of it all, and you know, I just wondered, like, why does all that stuff exist? Is it, you know, I know it's like, well, dude, that's the question, but it's like, what's the point of all of that out there? Is it simply so it's infinite levels? Is this Minecraft where you load into a world and it's just infinitely expanding, or are they not meant to be found? And are you meant to just be this speck? And the purposes not of which we can even comprehend. So
I think that's a really important piece of being human.
Yeah.
It's just wondering and being in awe of what's beyond us, I think.
Yeah.
That's a really, really cool thing. And then the fascinating thing too is your grandpa's, I can keep going, grandma's, whatever. They probably talked about this very same thing.
They probably did.
To some respect. And here we are, 100+ times generations after them talking about the very same thing. Like, I think that's really cool too.
It is really cool. It's that same concept of, if I sip Coca-Cola, it's the exact same Coca-Cola that Tom Cruise is sipping.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes when it comes to a drink like that, like, that's the best that there is. And I can enjoy that same thing. There's not a higher tiered version of it. So the same person who was cut from different cloth with money and popularity and all that, where we're both enjoying the same thing. That's really cool.
We all look at the same moon.
Exactly.
I mean, I get the.
We have more in common than I think a lot of people give us credit for.
Yeah, and that's the beauty. I mean, we're looking at the same thing, the same stars that MLK, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Galileo, Copernicus, Copernicus. There it is. Christopher Columbus, Marcus Aurelius, Jesus. George Lucas looked at. Like, that's
yeah.
It puts it all in perspective too. It's cool.